for that spot at the Asia RMR. I'm Conky, this is Komodo, and mate, look, it was a great day yesterday. What are we looking into today as we go into the first match?
I want to see just what we saw from the beginning of Encore from their match and the beginning of DGG's first couple of rounds in both of their matches. You know, they had the source, they had the substance then, but it kind of died off a little bit later on. So I'm hoping that it starts kind of from the get-go as we do jump into the pistol rounds.
Pistol round, same veto as we did see yesterday, of course, between some of these games. We've got Vertigo, we've got Inferno, and we've got Nuke left over if it is required. Encore, obviously, getting knocked down by Not Greyhound in that first opening match, where we did see Rooster, the first team, eliminated from the 4. So Not Greyhound waiting in that grand final. Winner obviously going again to PAX later this year with Middle East, Asia, and China, where 2 spots, obviously, to the Rio Major at the end of the year.
And we'll be able to figure out those teams that will be joining the winner today from our Oceanic region a little bit later this evening as well. So we'll know all 4 teams, and it'll be very exciting. But right now, we got a bit of an A-ramp wrestle from Encore.
Zeph's fallen away, has to get out immediately. They will molly off the barrels, but nobody home right now. It is going to be that full force back to the site, and every single member of DGG is already here. A couple of taps through the smoke. Hazard will be tagged up a couple times, but Zeph on that boost also going to be dinked up. I'm liking this. They're setting up another member, boosting over the top. Apocdud gets one, but dinked down as well, so it is going to be that plant. However, DGG have started off with 2.
And the plant down for Encore now is going to turn into a little bit of the protection. Azot currently doesn't have any armor as well, so he might be first point of contact just to see what he can do. Draw some bodies over towards him, but it's Gratisfaction over at the side hole. Great shot on towards Apocdud. So many bodies and a kit on the defuse already. They need to deny that one. It's a good defense so far from Encore, but there's still 3 members that they have to try and find right now. Zeph does get taken down, and they're just trying to get this defuse out right now. Your Wombat Hughes going for the challenges, and they're both going to lose it to Azza as Encore take the pistol.
Effectively a 2v5 there, as picking up 3, looking very, very nice there for Encore. DGG had the openings, but that's the, I guess, lack of experience there. You know, they couldn't quite force themselves to take on the duels. They got a little bit scrapped. It was, you know, Manic calling, trying to get on to stick the defuse, maybe pulling off at the same time. But irrespective, you know, it was a really, really well-held ramp position there from Encore. And Azak getting on the board nice and early. So opening round goes the way of Encore. And I guess, you know, what we're sort of expecting in this matchup, you know, will it go 2-0? Will it be a quick one? Time will tell. But you know, Encore have got a fierce opponent if they do make their way to that grand final.
Ooh, opening pick goes the way of DGG as well. That's going to be a weapon stolen. I'll be interested in the previous round if there was smoke actually available for DGG. They could have potentially got a ninja defuse out, but didn't happen. Wasn't there. As Encore now with that player down. Trying to see what they can do to get back into this round. And taking out Zeph is a good start. Bit of standard utility going on through as well. See if they can peek any interest out from DGG, who start to make a shuffle over towards this A site. You got your Wombat with that Galil. You'll be the one to play over at the plateau. Be the last line of defense if things do swing back over towards B. A minute to go. It does look like Encore are shaping up for this A site.
They're ready as well. Very, very aggressive here. I don't know if Savage and Azza are going to be quite ready for this. It's the Deagle from Gump. 1-2, but no! A little bit too far down, and Sterling will get the jump, will get the catch. Now both members trying to fall their way back to the site. Your Wombat gets his way through the smoke and will be taken. So again, another opportunity sort of given up by DGG. Unable to compose themselves into that position. You know, Gump had an absolutely fantastic run against Not Greyhound yesterday. Will we see similar sort of performance here? But the force in for DGG doesn't quite work out as they were hoping for, as, yeah, just a little slight amount off the ramp. Gump can't quite connect onto the other 2.
Yeah, the Deagle can be a fickle thing at sometimes, can't it? With the shots coming on through, completely blinded up. And when you see 3 bodies, sometimes maybe you get a little bit of panic happening, try to line up the headshot, and then it just doesn't come out. A little bit unfortunate, but just the USPs coming into this round, straight through the guts of mid. Azar farming up 3. We'll take those eco frags. There's at least 1 for your Wombat there. Apocdud is just turning in towards damage to see what he can do now. Drop some more rifles, make your next round a little bit easier when you do have the proper purchase for yourselves. We'll just see what Apocdud can do here. Maybe it does even shift over into just trying to save the AK-47 into that next round.
Yeah, would be wise. Give them a little bit of extra bolstering into that next round. Doesn't look like any member of Encore's overly keen in hunting. Not all the cash required, but it is a good start for them. pretty happy with that. Moving T-side, Vertigo, a little bit more challenging as we know. This is obviously Encore's map selection though, and DGG after having a decent run against Not Greyhound yesterday on Inferno, seems like that was their comfort pick as well. So, you know, choosing Inferno, always quite bold. Encore not typically, you know, one of the better teams on Inferno, so...
It's really interesting with what maps we've actually had between these four teams in order: Encore, Rooster, and DGG, right? Because we had Vertigo and Inferno as our first two yesterday for, you know, both of our series. We did have Nuke over in that order versus Encore match. Flip it over on the other stream that we had between Rooster and DGG. They had Inferno, Dust 2, and Vertigo. So, you know, still Vertigo, still Inferno, Dust 2 being the outlier there. Vertigo and Inferno between Encore and Rooster before Rooster lost and got knocked out. And now we've got here, again, Vertigo and Inferno. So it does seem that these two maps are kind of the loved maps between a lot of the teams in our region at the moment.
The El Clasico used to be that Inferno, Mirage, Dust 2, but
I hated it.
We are seeing a little bit more variety now. Ancient also getting picked up on the occasion. Hazard, a little bit shaky. Somehow does manage to connect that shot onto Zefto, however, and that has very much ramped up the pace here. Great nade from Gump. We'll have to reload, though, now. They know exactly where he is. Orb picked up. Molotov goes in, but that's a great smoke to allow him potentially some space out, because look at this reposition. There we go. Love to see it. You'll want that. No, but he pulls out the molly. In the end, it does keep them at bay, but that nade is going to dunk down. See you later, Gumpton. Round now into a 3 versus 3. Your Wombat in a very, very forward position. Has to go further. Gratisfaction now picking up the AWP, and DGGapocdud on that flank. He should have all of them here. Not even up the ramp as of yet. Should be one and a second. No, just the one for now. Azza looking to repeat back down here. Komodo, a very, very chaotic and manic round right now. The Encore members are trapped between a rock and a hard place. Savage, though, moves forward, and now that should be sight. That should be security. They can just march over to B.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Savage with 11 points of HP and a single flashbang. If they do get that bomb plant down, they're not going to have too much to be able to protect it. So eliminating one of these players is going to be paramount, and Savage, even with that low HP, takes care of your Wombat. Now it is just DGGapocdud, and Savage is even reading it correctly for this position. He doesn't need to budge. He doesn't need to move. He can be rest assured in Azza for the 1 versus 1 if he does lose his life, but straight in towards it. Great crosshair placement, and the round is back towards Encore. Flawless so far.
An immaculate round from Hazard. What a play, right? Like, this is the guy that, you know, we've been talking about a little bit now. Hazard and Sterling have kind of made themselves well known as a powerful duo within the region. Savage was the newest member added to the roster a little while ago, back when they were, you know, known as LFO, and they had that overseas stint for a couple of months earlier this year. And yeah, look, he's always had the capacity, but, you know, whether or not he's been given the right roles or things like that, but I can definitely see Savage, you know, growing to be one of those really, really exciting players developing over time. But look at DGGapocdud, Dion. He's gotten straight down. Should be able to catch it, and I think Savage has actually missed the timing, but that might leave a false sense of security to Hugh, and there we go, Savage will be able to pick that one up. Now DGGapocdud very, very, very caught off here. Yeah,
the problem is it's a different player that has just been eliminated. So there should be the idea that DGGapocdud can find the dirty space, and he's done that exactly. That's miraculous. He's down 2. This is just great positioning, great timing, great game sense to be able to find the gap in where Encore was lurking around. Remember, this isn't really a full-fledged buy from DGG at the moment. If they are able to win this and finally get back on the board, might throw a little bit of a spanner in the works of what Encore have planned, but they're still managing to navigate around this round. 2 versus 2 situation. A lot of utility for the T's to be able to work with, and DGGapocdud, Gump currently holding hand in hand, so they're going to work the rest of this map together.
DGGapocdud doing very, very well. The in-game leader of DGG, one of the more recent additions after being stepped down from Vertex. Vertex, as we mentioned, a interesting sort of roster position at the moment, not really knowing where that's one is going to end up, but they've had to go fishing for this bomb. Komodo will be able to collect that one now. Azza drops it back into his hands. It was seen earlier, but Gump and DGGapocdud, they've got the read. They know it's going to be down towards this B site for now. Gump, though, sending his way back. This is going to be a interesting battle of timing, 100%. Savage, though, again, he's just slotted himself into such a fantastic position. And the leader of Azza starting to make his way in now. They've heard the footsteps, but again, I don't think they're going to look this. Not at all. Savage, excellent round so far. Maybe, though, an opportunity for Gump, swindling the round away. Goes up onto the hump here, but Azza has managed to fall away.
Taking a lot of damage in that grenade that was thrown out. 26 points of HP for Azza to try and work with. The footsteps that are made on the stairs shouldn't have been in audible range for Gump, but with the low HP, he's got to play protective at the moment. The bomb Ticked away halfway, and with no kit on Gump's back, does mean it's a 10-second defusal. Incendiary gathered up, flashbangs in, Gump knows the positioning, and Azza is reading him like a book at the moment, guessing that there's no weapons, there's no kit rather, because of how the round played out with the weapons earlier on, those pistols. And DGG, they're going to have to call it here. Gump is going to protect this AK in toward the next round, and such a round that was looking very plausible for DGG as well, with the positioning of Apocdud that was absolutely awesome. Just can't help but feel maybe that round, you know, DGG, if they stuck around the B side a little bit longer, potentially could have won it.
Absolutely. It's once again, you know, Encore very much that experienced kind of lead that they've got. Even adding in the, you know, Azza and Gratis faction, Grat hasn't really sort of managed to find his feet just yet. He had a couple of insane rounds yesterday. I do remember a few of those, but, you know, both these players are really sort of slotting in. Gratis faction only kind of scrapped together in the last few days, and Apoc sitting back into that coach role. So definitely undergoing the hyperbolic time chamber right now. As Azza, are you joking me? If he gets a third, this is unthinkable right now. There is no way he has deserved that at all, but he's fought and he's battled for it now. Straight into the crosshair of Apocdud. At least some recompense here, Komodo, but my God, you looking to make it work. Hang on, just slow it down, simmer for just a second. 3v2, maybe a world where Encore can get their way back into this, as Apocdud already heading towards that B side. Can he get the cross early enough though?
As it's just gone beast mode, and now it has to go on to Apocdud and Humongous, players that have been together in different renditions of rosters time and time again, and they have to bring it here to get a round on the board. The scope of the orb, the push from Gratisfaction. Another kill to his name, and now it is just Humongous. 1 versus 3. This is the first really big purchase that we've seen from DGG. They had the orb out, they had all the rifles, all that utility. The kits are on the floor at the moment as well, but for Hugh, this 1 versus 3 has to find a needle in a haystack. Again, he will get swung out by Savage, so another round over to Encore.
It's just the raw firepower at the moment right now from what we can see from Encore. You know, how quickly they're able to kind of slow it down, you know, take a second to breathe and then reposition accordingly. And the mind that they've been able to sort of take around the map and very much sort of living in the heads of DGG, it seems like Gump is going to go for that hero AWP for now. It's a scrappy buy again. Zeph will save the extra cash to make sure he's got one of his own. But as you mentioned, you know, Komodo, there's just been not really anything or any round where we felt like DGG have had the full and proper buy. And Encore have just kept them guessing as of that previous round. Immaculate stuff.
Well, one of the things that I'm noticing already right now is Gratisfaction hasn't died immediately out in B main, right? So he's actually got some space to work with. Likewise of Hazard, finding an opening frag over to the A side. It's not an entry frag, it's just an opening frag. So they aren't really taking the space with it. The AWP from Gump has been revealed as well. So as far as information is concerned, Encore, pretty good grasp on what is exactly happening in this round. And one of the big differences, Mitch, so far as well from yesterday is as it's fragging, right? Yesterday it was kind of falling back, watching the team from behind, trying to get that leadership role in, trying to figure out what works best for this roster. Of course, their first official together yesterday. Now in this 3 versus 3, right. Bomb plant, not yet going down. A great shot by Gump. Could be the hero up to get them over the line, but maybe not.
Savage now, 1v2. Big moments from Gump. He was the man we were talking about so much yesterday. Now Apocdud is trying to make a decision where he wants to go with this. Will he make some footsteps? He's already started to walk on up. But again, Savage, the call has been made. The position has been read, and he can just march his way over towards this B site, keeping a honest watch. But he's living in the head again of DGG. Apocdud has frozen, though. Not going to over-rotate. It's going to wait. Not let the mind games win it out, but Savage already giving himself the advantage, already giving himself the lead in this round. Now Apocdud has to again brute force his way back into this round in the 1v1. No kit, no nothing. Just a single smoke grenade, and that is that.
All onto timing here for Apocdud. How much time can he utilize to clear a lot of these corners before he has to start to cut them? Halfway on the bomb yet again, and no kit. I'm getting very similar vibes to what we saw early on where the save call from Gump was made. Smoke onto water, and it's actually acting as a one-way. Savage has revealed himself, and Apocdud for the swing and the ding finds the frag. Is there enough time for the defuse? It's going to be close, but I do believe that there is going to be enough time for that one. Maybe. Actually, no,
maybe not.
It's not. He's going up with the bomb. Oh, such a valiant effort.
It was just behind the music on my end. And yeah, unfortunate. Savage does manage to run down the clock long enough that Encore are going to walk away with the 7th round. So here we go, finally seeing the first pause come out from DGG. And DGG, they're certainly like doing the right thing. You know, they're playing around the map very, very well. But it's just Encore who are 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. Crazy, crazy stuff we're witnessing right now.
Yeah. Just waiting for the pause to come undone. Get a little bit of thoughts for all of the players in the server right now. Gonna have another purchase to come through from DGG, and we're getting a lot of vibes, right? Yesterday, that not Greyhound versus Encore game on Nuke, it was such a one-sided affair that Encore are now kind of delivering a smacking over towards DGG, who, you know, in the very beginning of their match yesterday on this very map, put up a pretty decent performance. You know, first couple of rounds, it was very competitive, and then it did kind of fall by the wayside. So I'm hoping they find their footing relatively soon. It's another great pick from the very beginning, Gratisfaction. I think that's about 3 times now, maybe he's been the first death over at this B stairs area.
Found a couple of opening picks, DGG, you know, almost every round. I'd be interested to see the opening pick stats as we do move on into the latter parts of this first half. Again, this is the map selection, obviously, of Encore, and they're looking so, so comfortable. Great HE there from Hugh. He will reposition. They're going to boost their way up, and will they be able to get the right timing onto it? Hugh doesn't actually spot in Azza. We talk about it. He has been fragging today so far, 12 and 4.
Very winnable circumstances for DGG right now, Mr. Mitchell. Equal 4 alive. Azza taken down low. Utility starting to dwindle for Encore. Positions not yet crept in towards the sites itself. But on the same merit, DGG haven't really overextended themselves to try and get a vast amount of information. Could lean into trying to protect Gump right now. A beautiful flash, but an even better frag from Azza. They know a second player is on the side itself. It's going to be Zeph with that AWP.
Molly making it so awkward. Azza, that's 3 for him already. He is playing to absolute confidence, strength to strength right now. Your Wombat recovers the AWP, and I think he's just going to be recovering with his life, getting out of there immediately. So it's going to be 8 here for Encore. My, oh my, this is just getting me revved up for that next series, man. I tell you, you know, it sort of feels a little bit bad to kind of already be selling it out to what we're thinking, but, you know, it's no disrespect to the other 2 teams in this competition, right? You know, Rooster, obviously not their full roster right now. DGG still very much in development phases. Encore picking up 2 of the, you know, most successful players to ever come out of our region in Azza and Gratisfaction. Top 4 at a major. It was the Berlin Style at a major a couple of years back, 2018, I believe it was. Liaz, JKS rather, Jacob. That was the big boy roster. So to add it up against, you know, Hazard, Sterling, Savage, the trio, it's really sort of thinking like, sure, not Greyhound had that victory over them yesterday, 2-1. But what is that next matchup going to look like in this grand final if it does in the end go that way, which we can assume?
Because a lot of people have to remember as well, this is, you know, a fairly new roster. When you add not just 1 new player, but 2 new players, it doesn't matter what experience they have previously, because you got to have a lot of team cohesion. It is a team game. They can't just be the ones to try and, you know, carry the whole game time and time again. And whilst Azza is fragging up a storm today, you know, Gratisfaction has been bullied over at B time and time again. This is currently where Encore are starting to lean over towards. You got some defense there from DGG as well. But an extension from Zeph over in the side hall. He's going to miss the shot on towards Hazard. It's a bit uncharacteristic, but Apocdud, rest assured, he's going to be there for the opener onto Grat once more.
Apocdud finding entry after entry, the opening picks that he has secured. But unfortunately, they just haven't been able to convert any of these rounds just yet. Sterling now getting the generator smoke up. Molly goes down as well. Hugh, forward-thinking position, but with all this utility going down, they are still going to be buying a little bit of extra time. Sterling does have that molly in hand and a flash to send them in as well. Savage walking in. DGG actually with the superior position here with their utility. And also with the HE is no, the molly, but Savage is going to get the entry and a second. Will it be a third? Hugh swinging right into the crosshair again, but now it's that 3-on-3 Komodo. Bomb is going to be planted, but I think Hugh is going to be walking straight into that crosshair. Hazard gets another, and that's Hugh going down as well. Dropping like flies. They just can't do it, DGG. Encore have just been so far ahead of the curve, and Gump has to save again.
Yeah, great shots to come out from Hazard there as well. You know, the difference in Zeph, if he didn't get tagged up earlier on by Hazard over at that A site, right, when he got legged down to 12 HP from missing the AWP, potentially could have been a little bit of a different retake there. Could have gone out for a wider swing, could have protected Hugh, could have gotten some frags back into the retake, and Gump wouldn't have had to save. They've got the kit plausible, they've got the smoke that they could throw onto the bomb as well, but regardless, Encore, they're just playing some very solid Vertigo T side at the moment, and it's proving to be, honestly, a bit too much for DGG. I'd like to just see an extended pause come out for them to really have a conversation on what they need to do to get back into at least just this half right now, to kickstart them, propel them into then having to go onto their T side later on, which arguably has been, you know, their kind of lack aside.
They're just getting out aimed. You know, there's not really too much fundamental stuff that they're kind of lacking at this point in time. They've just not been able to hit their shots when required. They're getting caught off as well. The positioning from Encore has been fantastic. But like, you look at the scoreboard, Komodo, Sterling 2 kills, Gratisfaction 3 kills. They don't need to, because Savage and Azza are Sterling up a storm, as Azza's also doing a couple for his own. That's Zeph going down, who is having a mare 1 and 10 now for someone who is usually quite an important piece of the puzzle to DGG on this AWP.
Uh-oh.
The Molotov, a little bit of crappy utility. That's going to burn down your Wombat too. They've heard that. Hazard's got all the positioning. Apoc about to go down now. A second frag for him, and he can get more. There's still 2 tucked away, but yeah, DGG just haven't been setting themselves up for the trades at all.
They're fumbling a little bit in this round, which doesn't bode well for them either. Great little pre-fire to come out from Hazard, and not a single point of damage has been delivered to Encore. Actually, no, I lied. Hazard is on 99, so something's impacted him.
1 damage.
Something's impacted him. Regardless, Gratisfaction looking after the lurk. Really well placed out. Again, you know, they're really just 100%ing how this round should be played, how a lot of these rounds should be played. Very methodical with all their utility, making sure they're not leaving any corner unchecked. And for right now, Gump and your Wombat, they're already packing their bags. And Gratisfaction on the lurk might even find them.
I think they will at this point in time. They've got so much money. Encore can, you know, really kind of throw caution to the wind here for sure. Little lurk up from Grat now. Gump back sight. Your Wombat not too far away. So I think Grat will find at least one here, as already Encore start to creep their way in towards spawn. Gump does manage to at least make short work of Gratisfaction. Hazard also should fall. But look, 2 frags, you know, not really a whole lot to kind of do it with. The money, again, is still there for Encore. They are so far away from the site. They know it's a comfortable round when this is going to be double digits with no contest. Sterling, oh, he might even find one here as well. They've got the crossfire somewhat down, but
well, remember,
there's still so much open.
This technically was a 2 versus 5, so Gump and your Wombat really are trying to hold on to these guys. Eventually, Sterling and Savage say no. Double digits achieved for Encore. And we're still on the donut for DGG without taking those guns from the previous rounds. You know, max loss bonus for sure. But they don't really have enough cash to be able to go in with a full force. So it's looking to shape up to potentially be that 11th over towards Encore.
Man.
Sterling and Grat technically haven't needed to do too much either.
Nah,
right?
not at all.
Sterling, he got the exit frag in that previous round. Gratisfaction, he got a couple of lurking frags. You know, he's predominantly been that B side entry attemptee who's been taken down time and time again from Acock-dud. Then you got Azza farming up a couple in through mid. So it is...
look, Sterling, more of a, you know, CT-sided long line AWPer.
Yeah.
Hasn't really had a, necessity to do anything. The rest of the team has very much been picking up the slack for him. They can chill. Hazard does get punished. Gump, that's that deagle that we were able to see yesterday. So another contest of a round, but Encore have still managed to walk these ones through. Azza not alive this time round, but he will be able to call from the grave. Molotov goes down close. Nobody home. Back site cleared as well.
Look
at that utility. Doing their due diligence. Yeah.
It's awesome to see, just making sure they're not leaving any chances for DGG to find pretty much any frags. Sterling is going to be catering for that flank right in towards Hugh. Zeph has just been legged up a little bit as well, playing from the back of the generator. And whilst that grenade does dunk on towards Savage, it's still going to have them charging in for this attempt at the retake with, an AK-47. But that's it. It's just Gump now. No kit, no util. Could be a save call or an attempt at damage, which doesn't really hurt the money of Encore whatsoever.
They've got to buy into the next at the very least. That's all we can hope for. Maybe need to see something a little bit more aggressive. There's no time. They know. They can get out of it. So Gump's got a couple of kills. Here's Sterling rotating over. Savage very low, so does want to kind of keep alive in this position. So I think it should be a bit of a stalemate in this one. Gump's walked away, so he'll take that AK into the next, as you mentioned. Zeph will get the AWP up again. But yeah, there just hasn't really been any of this sort of CT-sided control from DGG. The times they've tried to fight the ramp, they've been punished by Encore. Just not getting the trades when necessary. You know, we've seen the multi-frags on the entry from Azza, from Savage, from Hazard. All the things are happening in the way of Encore. And I do remind you all to, you know, that are watching and thinking how far DGG kind of is potentially behind the curve here. I also remind you that NKT, a roster with very, very experienced members on it, did get 16-0'd by IHC yesterday, which was last year's, earlier this year's rather, major representatives from Mongolia. So 16-0s, they do happen. These kind of scorelines, even in a competitive upper bracket match, they do happen. We've seen Astralis be 16-0'd in the past, you know, like the old Astralis.
Oh, wow. Gratisfaction. Opening kill that he wins onto GGapocdud this time. Be happy enough to finally win that duel, but doubling down onto an overextending Humongous as well. And Mitch, I talk about what corners need to be cut from DGG. Yeah, it's not really a slice of pie in this round, unfortunately, though. A good shot from Zeph. Doubling out his kills, trying to use the girder to protect him. He's actually done well here. And he found the collateral, finally.
1 HP.
Finally, maybe we get around from DGG here. Great allocation, though, from Sterling to still keep this round competitive. And he's even going to go for another one. Now, Gratisfaction pushing up. There goes Zeph.
1v1.
1v1 for all the marbles to keep the dream, I guess, at this point alive.
Oh, it's so scrappy. He gets it, though. The dream is dead. For Encore, we do get to see DGG live, and it was poor Zeph who has had a bit of a, you know, absolute mare of a game, a stinker, and he gets the collateral to bring himself up to 4. And ultimately closing out the round, they clutch out the 1v1, so their money is a bit scrappy when it comes to these purchases. The AWP's still up for Zeph, thankfully. But yeah, the dream is dead, and DGG are on the board.
Indeed. Oh, Hugh's going to be breaking his feet on the drop down B stairs. Gratisfaction is just going to play there. But haste, though, from Encore up the A ramp. You do like to see this. Immediately clearing out their corners. You got 3 players from DGG over here as well. See what information they're going to be able to figure out. See what damage they're going to be able to deliver nice and early as Gratisfaction probe over at those B stairs. Might be able to find an opener on towards Humongous.
Ow.
Yeah, that hurts. Through the
wall. That is a summary of Zeph's game. And Hugh even getting the molly down, and it doesn't go far enough. Will GGapocdud get cleared as well? No shots have been fired. You can tell they're not all on the same page. You can tell they're not all feeling comfortable. DGG are getting scrapped around, tossed and turned. Their utility's not landing as it needs to. Their communications must be erratic. But a 5 versus 4. Utility now going up towards the ramp. Gratisfaction allowing himself to reposition. GGapocdud getting on that rotate. Will find Savage. That's a great pick. And your Wombat also managing to stem the bleeding. 30 seconds. Cops the dink to the face, but we'll be able to connect with another shot as well. So that should be site secured, plant secured. Oh, it's risky. Yeah, what a call. The mental gymnastics that we've just seen from Hazard to hold for just a second. Now Sterling can grab that line, dropping Gump. Zeph also on the line, but gets the shot. Now a 2-on-2. Bomb's going to be planted, but they're going to fight for it. Komodo, and it's going to be Azza to drop. And now four Zephs will go. Hazard, Azza, Encore. They get a 12. And this is just decimation.
Yeah, a round where you think maybe the retake doesn't need to happen and DGG can deny the plant from going down. It was great timing of that incendiary, as you do mention. If there was a HE grenade, that would have taken Hazard out as well, and the round would have been completely different. But the utility not there, unfortunately. And the low HP of Zeph, you know, he was the one that's with that AWP shots starting to come on through. Maybe he was able to find some more. Unfortunately, not the case, as it's back to the pistols for DGG. A stampede through the side lane. Sterling is going to be hearing this one. No flashes to be coming on through that are going to be blinding him out. But he needs his teammates to be able to assist him. And it's just some eco bashing in this round, the 13th for Encore. As we move into the last round of the half, we have another attempt for DGG to get another round.
They are finding some kills, but yeah, look, Hugh, Zeph, your Wombat, not usually members that are this quiet at all. Certainly a disheartening game, but I've got to admit, you know, at this point in time, it's just got to be practice. DGG was able to put the contest up to not Greyhound yesterday in a few of these maps. But Encore have come out swinging. You know, maybe we could even say it was potential mind games in that opening map yesterday, not looking to give up the entire hand. But they have come out with absolutely no respect to DGG in this one in the best of ways. You know, they're playing their best Counter-Strike. I think so. Oh. Great shot, Zeph, getting the opening. So we need to get that stat, by the way, after this map. How many times did DGG find a 4v5 and ultimately lose the round? Yeah. That's an important one, I think, for them to review.
Most definitely. It's great timing, great information that your Wombat's been able to secure, though. Should give a really good idea of what Encore are looking to prep if he goes the correct way over towards the A ramp, or even if he goes towards B. But there you go. Apocdud's actually going to get taken out as well. Your Wombat is going to be behind him over at the bridge, and he's got the protection over that bomb. So eventually Encore have to sacrifice a member to go and retrieve that objective. Maybe they don't expect your Wombat to be here too.
They don't at all, and they are going to be able to find it. And a second, no, not quite. Your Wombat has to now reposition. 35 seconds, bomb in hand, held hostage at the bottom of the A ramp. You can see your Wombat getting manic, getting a little bit stressed under the collar, not knowing exactly where to look, what to watch. Sterling will have that wrap on his side, but he peeks, he overextends. Feeling the pressure, could have just potentially waited for his team to join him, but it was that collapse. IEM was also looking to find it. 15 seconds, though. They have to get on this side. They have to move quickly. The flash is up high, but Gump, he's out in an island. Not cleared, not spotted. He can deny it all here, and he does. There's enough time to get the bomb. They can get the plant just, but he denies it.
No, it's still down.
Up. Wrong player.
He collateraled them.
2 HP. Oh, my God.
He
Straight through the box.
He collateraled them.
Wrong player. IEM was getting the plant. The body block wasn't enough. He's on the line. He's going to find it. Encore takes 14 in the most unnecessary way. What a round that we have just witnessed. This is a stomp. This is a bullying.
That is...
But beautiful at the same time.
That is a ballistic way to end a round that I have seen in a very long time. Not only was there the bomb in your Wombat's possession down at the bottom of the ramp, there was 20 seconds to go and retrieve. Number one, he wide swings out straight into the crosshair of the AWPer. Loses that duel. Bomb retrieved. Savage runs in to try and get the plant. Overlooks player up on the boost that denies it. 7 seconds. Bomb retrieved. IEM starts planting. Loses his teammate through a collateral AWP. 2 HP. And mind you, Mitch, his teammate was behind him. So as he's planting, it's gone through IEM, or through the box, through IEM, through his teammate and killed him. Then the plant goes down, and then he wins. That is absolutely absurd.
So what you're saying is IEM is so jacked,
yes,
that he can live through that. My God, that's insane. Never a round that should occur. And I guess if DGG watch this one back, the amount of like, you know, timing or little bit of panic that's thrown them, like there is so many rounds for these guys to kind of sit down, watch back and tweak, because, you know, again, DGG is a very much a developing roster. We've got some international experience from Zeph, from Apocdud, from Hugh, but only a small amount, you know, only that sort of tier 2 position,
you know,
where all these members of Encore have had a really big and lengthy international run so far.
You know, it's funny. I was looking back on it a little bit earlier. I'll just put a pause. This is a thing I want to talk about later on. As DGG are running in through the guts of mid, Savage is actually in a pretty prime position to be able to upset the balance of this round, as Savage and IEM finding a couple of kills as of there as well. Everyone's just going running around and shooting.
Nice and easy, really. Bombs dropped. Gump in a position where he has to find a pretty nasty 1v3, and he's actually going to get the hell out of there. Repositioning, looking to rotate up, maybe heading up the ramp of A or the ladder in mid. We'll see. Looks like he's going for A ramp, so he's definitely playing Ring Around the Rosie. As DGG can, Encore rather, can just sort of sit and wait. They're watching every single angle, all over the bomb, swarming it. So all Gump can hope for is that he can find these 3 1v1s, but it is such a scary, scary prospect. Gratisfaction is spotted, so there's one. At least it does give some sort of semblance of a possibility. Now creeping his way back in. So he walks up to the generator, Sterling on the line. There's the info, there's the spot, but Sterling only needs 1 bullet, and they'll connect map point. Yep. And Inferno around the corner.
So the point that I was trying to make earlier on before I was, quote, interrupted by the game, was the history of these two teams against each other, right? Apart from the game the other day, like yesterday, apart from the ESL Challenger Melbourne qualifier, the last time these guys played were when they were under the Chiefs banner and the Direwolves banner, and the different rendition for DGG was Yo One But Out and Valhalla in. That was the roster. So these 4 players for DGG in April Concept, Gump, and Smoke have actually been together for quite a long time.
Just need more time in the oven, it would seem. Putting it up to 220, 40 minutes. A nice, beautiful cake. Hazr picking up 2, though. And the advantage continues to be taken. Savage. Hugh in a 1v2. Certainly winnable. Savage rather low. But Hugh's a long way away. And once again, you know, that pesky bomb situation, you kind of need that one.
If you don't have the ability to go and retrieve that, though. Oh, he's snuck under Hazr. One with the H. There you go. That's the game.
There you go.
A bit anticlimactic, I guess, in the end, as we do come back to us. 16-1. We were talking about what we wanted to see from Encore coming in toward this one if they want to try and get the best thing over, not Greyhound a little bit later. And I think being able to come out with an opening map like this is well on their way to having a spicy game later on.
Exactly. There's 2 different things, right? You know, we've already talked about this quite at length. The Australian Counter-Strike scene is in a very interesting time. It's very much that development phase. You know, we've had orgs change, we've had roster